Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. And on Fridays, here in the Quantum Human Design Coach Forum, we talk about what you need to do to stay sustainable in your coaching practice. And one of the things we've been exploring over the last few weeks is the importance of you living in alignment with your design. The reason why this is essential for you in terms of staying sustainable as a coach is that you have to stay aligned in order for you to preserve your energy. Because if you're not living true to yourself in your own practice, you're going to be putting up facades, you're going to be crafting alternate identities, you're going to be uh, living in a way, using your energy to try to be someone or something that you're not. And what that does is it causes you to take that precious, essential, creative life force energy that is you and actually use that vital energy trying to construct a fake exterior. Really, that's what it is. It's a fake exterior. If we're not living true to who we are and we're putting our energy into trying to be something that we should be, or our business coaches taught us that we have to be or do, or we're trying to make our lives look a way that it isn't, that takes energy. The way to achieve coherent alignment with your life force and your essential energy that you bring to your coaching practice is you have to stay aligned with who you really are. You have to be authentic. That's the first reason why you want to do that. The second reason why you want to do that is that when you live aligned, when you're living true to who you are, then you're creating an emotional alignment, an energetic alignment, a state of coherence. And this state of coherence literally holds a vibrational frequency. And so when you're working with your clients, you bring that vibrational frequency into your relationship with your clients. And when you're living true to who you are, when you're modeling it, when you're holding it, when you're making authentic choices, when you're demonstrating clearly to your clients what that looks like, what an authentically aligned life looks like, then not only are you showing them what that looks like, you're bringing them the energy for it. Frequencies of energy entrain each other. High frequencies of energies entrain lower frequencies of energies. So let's be really clear about that. Higher frequencies pull lower frequencies up. By the way, it's physically impossible for the opposite to be true. And this is, if you forgot this fact when we studied physics in high school, it's a basic fact of physics. Higher frequencies of energies pull lower frequencies up, not the other way around. So when you're embodying this beautiful, high vibing state of alignment and coherence, and you're allowing the natural flow of life's intelligence to flow through you, to create through you as you manifest your life, you're creating a vibrational energy field that supports you in pulling your clients up. Okay. These are the two reasons why being authentically aligned is essential for you. You've got to do it for yourself first so that you can sustain and maintain your energy, and you've got to do it for your clients so that you yourself are pulling people up with you. You are bringing them into this field of energy that gives them the oomph, if you will, the spark that allows them to really be called forward by you as their coach, as somebody who they hopefully aspire to be like. So, all right. So we have covered in the last couple of weeks aspects of your chart. We've been using a life purpose template. Jamie, if you don't mind posting that below, I'll post the link to that below. I know a lot of you have been working on it. I want to just let you know that if you are loving the language that we've been using when I've been showing you some of the sample gates, you can get access to all of that language about the gates in quantum human design in this booklet. Now, this is actually a pretty big booklet. It's 6x9. It's called the Quantum Activation Cards Companion Guide. This is the big version, the big blown up version of the guidebook that comes with the quantum activation cards that I created. I published the guidebook bigger because there's just so much information in the guidebook itself that, it's a great resource for you to learn more about the language that we use in quantum human design. You can get it on Amazon. If you have Amazon Kindle, it's on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited. Sorry, if you're on Kindle Unlimited, it's on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can literally download it for free. If not, you can get it on your Kindle. I have mine on my Kindle because I use it as a resource when I'm doing readings. Or you can get a hard copy of it, or you can get a copy of the cards, which I really love. I love using the cards because I actually use them in the mornings as a writing prompt for myself in my journaling. I'll pull a card for myself for the day. It tells me about the archetype. It tells me about what might be some of the themes to explore with that archetype. It talks to me, it tells you a lot about where that particular archetype might be impacting your resiliency and how you can reframe your experience of this archetype to bring out the mastery. So, all right. So last week we talked about Incarnation Cross and we looked at the sun and the role of the sun in the Incarnation Cross. Today, I'm going to share with you some information about the earth. So hang on a second. I'll pull up the slides here. All right. So hopefully you all can. Oh, wait, never mind. We're not going to do that. Okay. So, the Incarnation Crosses. Now, as we talked about last week, I'm not a huge fan of the names of the Incarnation Crosses, and I'm not a huge fan of some of the descriptions of the Incarnation Crosses. I do believe that Chetan Parkin has written a book about the Incarnation Crosses. Hold on a second. I'll show you. Don't go away. It's called the Book of Destinies. I think it's a fabulous resource for helping you understand the Incarnation Crosses. And I will be actually teaching a new class on the Incarnation Crosses a little bit later this summer using quantum human design language. So there's a new program coming out around that. So the Incarnation Cross is comprised of 4 numbers. It is your conscious and unconscious earth and your unconscious. So your conscious and your unconscious sun. So the top 4 numbers, the conscious and the unconscious sun, and the conscious and the unconscious earth. Last week, we talked about the sun, and we talked about how the sun is really the energy of what you're here to put out into the world, what you're here to give the world. So when you're looking at the Incarnation Cross and you're trying to figure out what the heck does this mean, go to the sun gates. The sun gates will tell you a lot about what you're here to give the world. So the Incarnation Cross is sort of the plot outline, if you will, in the path that your life is designed to follow. So if you think of your chart as a story or a narrative or a novel, your Incarnation Cross is the plot outline. So the earth, which is what we're looking at today, the earth tells us what you need to ground your purpose. Okay, so sometimes when you're struggling and really fulfilling the purpose that's expressed through your sun gates, sometimes we have to look at, okay, what's going on in the earth? Because if the earth parts of your Incarnation Cross, if that earth part isn't grounding you, if you're not getting what you need through your earth archetypes, if those are not being fulfilled, it makes you not have a strong enough foundation from which to launch your sun. So there's a partnership between the sun and the earth. The sun is what you're here to do. The earth is really what you need to receive or what you need to have in place. It's your foundation in order for you to feel grounded and for you to have a foundation from which to draw the energy and the lessons and the information and the stability you need to explore your earth gates. So the earth, oftentimes, if I have a client that's really stuck or struggling and really feeling like they can sense their sun, they can feel that that's part of their purpose, but they're really like stuck and they can't figure out what to do to get their mojo going. Sometimes I'm going to look at the earth and I'm going to look at what's going on with these earth gates. And is my client getting what they need from the earth through this earth position that's going to support them and strengthen their foundation and give them the support for them to be able to fulfill the sun parts of their purpose? So the earth is what you need to ground your purpose. I like to think of it, because I'm all about creativity, this is what your muse wants you to learn, to allow, to learn to master or receive. And this is what brings you peace and supports your solar gates. So again, this is what your muse wants you to learn to allow, to learn to master, and to learn to receive, because it's the earth. The earth is feminine, right? Or it's what brings you peace and supports the expression of your solar gates. So if you're wondering where does that show up on the chart, this is where the earth shows up on the chart. You'll notice that instead of using conscious, I use the phrase conscious and unconscious because it's on the chart, but really I like to describe the conscious definition of the chart as the soul purpose and the unconscious definition of the chart as the life purpose. Of course, your life is a blend of both, and part of the big challenge, if you will, to mastering your narrative is learning how to bring harmony and alignment between your soul purpose and your life purpose. That's really kind of the whole arc of the story of the chart over the course of your life. Your whole life is about learning how to blend your soul purpose and your life purpose in a mature and wise way. All right, so here on this chart, you see where the earth is. We're going to do an example. I'm just going to do one earth gate today because we played last week with the left angle cross of masks, and a couple of you got excited because you're like, that's my cross. So if you're not the left angle incarnation cross of masks, you'll have to do homework. If you are, I got this for you, at least part of it. So we're going to look today at the gate 23. So if you look at this particular chart, this little slide, you'll see that in the left angle incarnation cross of masks, the life purpose expression of the earth is in the gate 23. So this is an energy that, if you are the left angle cross of masks, this is something you need to have in place as part of your foundation, as part of what gives you stability for you to be able to express your solar gates. So the gate 23 in quantum human design is called the gate of transmission. The mastery of this gate is the ability to be able to translate transformative insights for people that offer them a way to transform the way in which they think. In the unbalanced expression, this is the need to be right. This is an anxiety or a pressure to share what you know with people who aren't ready, and then to feel despair or bitterness that they didn't understand the things you wanted them to do or to understand. And the challenge is to recognize that change and transformation are inevitable. So this is an interesting earth energy, right? Because many of you might be going, well, what the heck does that have to do with grounding my purpose? So what this says is that if you have the gate 23 highlighted by your earth, so if the earth is lighting this up, what this is saying is that for you to feel grounded, you need to have time to contemplate your new ideas, your thoughts, your insights. You need to have enough trust in divine timing, if you will, or right timing, that you stay in the flow of that trust as a sacred steward for this transformation, this transmission that you're here to bring. You need to trust in right timing enough to hold on to that truth, those understandings, that transmission you have to offer, and to wait for the right people to show up to ask you, because it's a projected element in the chart, the right people to ask you for your thoughts and your ideas and your insights, for them to ask you to give them the transmission that you are a sacred steward of. If you are not balanced in that, so if you're pushing with this energy, if you're pushing your insights out into the world with people who aren't ready, first of all, you're going to exhaust yourself, right? And maybe you're even going to question your value because, nobody's receiving what you have to give. And it's not going to help you help other people, as the left angle cross of masks, transform their narrative. It's not going to help you help other people change the way in which they think. You're not going to be able to fulfill your purpose if you're not waiting for the right timing, if you're not trusting in the right timing, and you're not being a sacred steward for all those brilliant insights and those things you're here to transmit to others as a way of supporting them in changing the way in which they think. So the challenge for the gate 23 is to recognize that change and transformation are inevitable, to know what needs to happen next, and to have to wait for the right timing and the right people to share your insights with. And so you could also see that possibly one of the things that if you were coaching someone that they might need in conjunction with this earth position, they might also need to have a strong sense of worth, right? If you value yourself enough to trust that the right people will tap you for your insights and that it's worth waiting for the right people and not wasting the preciousness of what you know with people who aren't ready yet. If you value yourself enough, you can hold on to those transmissions until the timing is right? To not jump the gun and try to convince people to understand what you know, and to not let yourself slip into negativity and despair when people aren't ready, because sometimes they aren't. The unbalanced expression, as we said, is the need to be right. So if you're spending a lot of your energy pushing your rightness out into the world, again, that's going to unground you. That's going to destabilize your ability to express the solar purpose of your cross. And the mastery is the ability to translate transformative insights for people that offer them a way to transform the way in which they think, to share what you know with awareness of right timing, and to trust your knowingness as an expression of your connection to source. So here's some questions to contemplate. And again, in the Quantum Human Design Cards Activation Guide or Companion Guide, those questions are in there for every gate. And there are also affirmations in there for every gate as well. So the questions might be, how can you strengthen your connection to source? If I was coaching someone with this and they were really struggling with this, these are the questions I would ask them. What do you need to do to strengthen your connection to source? Do you trust what you know? What comes up for you when you know something, but you don't know how you know what you know? Because this is transformative circuitry, right? It has knowingness as the way in which it understands the world. It knows stuff. It doesn't always know how it knows what it knows, but it knows. And the third question might be, how do you handle yourself when you know something, but the people around you aren't ready to hear it yet? What's your strategy? What do you do to keep yourself in integrity with that wisdom, that knowingness that you carry, and in a place of trust, of right timing, and trusting that the right people will ask you when the timing is right? The affirmation here is, I change the world with what I know. My insights and awareness have the ability to transform the way people think and perceive the world. I know that my words are powerful and transformative. I trust that the people who are ready for the change that I bring will ask me for what I know. I am a vessel for my knowingness, and I nurture myself while I wait to share what I know. So your homework assignment, if you will, for this week, as you explore filling out this template and you contemplate your life purpose and how to sustain yourself as a coach in your practice and as a person in the world, as a vital and irreplaceable part of the cosmic plan, what's your news story about what you need to be grounded in your life purpose? So I really want you to explore this not only from a practical point of view, but even think about this from a creative perspective, from a storytelling perspective. If you were going to write a story about your sun and your earth and maybe translate it into a creative piece, a poem, a piece of art, what would you be telling about your story? What do you need to be grounded? What does the superhero that is you in your story, in your narrative, need in order to feel grounded in your life purpose? So that's your invitation and your exploration for this Friday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I want to thank you all again for sharing this week with me. It's been an honor to have these conversations with you. Next week, we begin again. On Monday, we'll be going back to coaching skills and things you need to understand, things you need, tools you need to strengthen your ability to really coach people in a way that's effective and allows you to really apply the knowledge from quantum human design into actionable plans for your clients. That's it. Be well. Have a great weekend.